Good evening for me. I'm sure I'm not the only one for whom it's evening. So I'll let people in as they go. And just chat, say in the meeting in the chat box who you are, where you're from. So Phil from Singapore, Tuan from the Netherlands, Leanne from the Netherlands, Glenda, Brazil, Eileen from France.
Yeah.
Yes, correct, Eileen. Christy, Brazil, Turkey, Betul. That was a long. When I saw Betul would join, I was a little bit surprised because it's been a very long time. She was certified, right, Betul? Good to see you again. Good to see you again. Turkey, Brazil, Brazil. Okay, and then I have a few note takers, anonymous note takers. As usual, they are now part of the Zoom meetings, right? So, if people join, they will let them in. I'm going to share a few updates, and we have two case studies to learn from Daniele and Richard. So ahead of time, thank you for taking the time to have prepared this and to share with us. So here's the situation. When we last met each other online, it was 3 months ago, and we had 1,065 certified practitioners. And today, this is the picture on the right-hand side. We have 1,136, and a few are on the way. A few are actually currently inside programs, running programs. An update, we have a new presence, a new master facilitator in Australia. They can't join because for them it's like super late. It's like 11 p.m., I believe. And I will show you on the next slide what they look like. But this is where we are right now. Patricia in IISP is covering, I don't color all the countries, but is covering the Spanish-speaking countries. So that's where our world map stands today. And these are the master facilitators. So if maybe you were not here last time, so most recent people who've joined us is Leona and Venus who cover with Monica, China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. And actually, they are launching for the first time the program in Chinese the end of this month, I believe. Yes, for the first time will be delivered in Chinese. So they joined us end of last year. And then we have Don and hang on. We have Don and Sarah from Australia, who just joined beginning of this year and will run the program in Australia. Okay. And also happy to share that I was in Moscow last 2 weeks ago. It's very cold in Moscow, but was very happy to join Irina's one-day conference. So this is Irina, who's been a master facilitator for 18 months only, and these are some of the practitioners who graduated from the program. And I think it was she's doing an excellent job to bring the program to Russia in Russian, of course. Okay, that's a bit of updates for me, but I'm going to come back on that. I want to make sure I'm not the one doing all the talking. I'm going to mute all of you. Sorry if I do that a few times. And last time was the first time we had case studies, and that was appreciated by all of you, including me. And so every time I'm going to call on any certified practitioner to share case study. It can be whatever shape or form. The idea is to share a little bit how each of you are using the model, the tools, the reports, the surveys, etc. And so today we have two. And first we're going to go to Brazil. So Danielle from Norsk Hydro, Corporate Health and Safety Senior Manager. She will share a little bit what she has been doing on the topic of psychological safety in her company. When Danielle will go through a few slides, I suggest if you have questions, comments, put them in the chat, and we can then see what's in the chat and have a little discussion if there's particular topics that pop up there, if that's okay for everybody. Okay, so Danielle, I unmuted you and I will stop sharing. And I hope that normally you should be able to share on your end. Can you see if you can share?
Yes. Let me see. Can you see my screen?
I think it's coming. Yes, it's there now.
Good, perfect.
Yes.
Let me just adjust it here. Good.
That's perfect. Now we see one slide. Yes.
Perfect. So thank you for the opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here. I, as Peter said, I'm Daniele. You can call me Daniele, or you can call me Dani. I'm working in health and safety industry for more than 25 years now, in complex industries and high risk industries as well. I'm a psychological safety practitioner since 2022, and I'm the corporate emotions in organizations students. So CB stands for that. I'm a chemist, I'm a chemical engineer as well, and I'm specialized in safety in corporate health. I work at Hydro for a year now. Hydro is an industry in the aluminum chain, and I'm based here in Brazil, in Belém. So Belém is around here. So it's Amazon region here where we have large scale operations and mining in alumina refinery also. And we work in close collaboration with communities and with the employees as well and main stakeholders. Psychological safety is very important for us since we have complex operations and high risk operations as well, where it's very important for us to have this open communication with the employees to understand from my standpoint what is going on, what is really going on in workplaces, and what are the risks, and what kind of risks we are facing every day in our operations. And also, it's important to strengthen leadership as well and to support learning. So we are talking about a different type of safety. In the past, it was more safety based on the statistics, number of accidents. But now we are working on that to understand what really is going on to prevent serious incident and fatalities as well. On the right side, you can see the first time we talked about psychological safety. It was a global HSC conference. HSC is health, safety, and environment. So it was done in Europe, and it was the first time that the HSC team saw that. And after that, in last year in January, we launched the well-being calendar, and quarter one was entirely dedicated to psychological safety, which was very important because HSC, health, safety, and environment at Hydro, we are together with people in human resource operations. So it's the same vice president, executive vice presidents. So our journey regarding to psychological safety in 2024, it was more like awareness session. So we had this meeting with all HSC leaders, and also we had a work with some teams that started in BNA. BNA is this bauxite and alumina mining and refinery industry we have here in the Amazon region. And the Amy Edmondson work was being used by the group, by Hydro globally, but here the team was using the 4 stages of psychological safety. And in January 2025, we reviewed that and we decided to adopt TEAM.AS.ONE, Amy Edmondson's methodology. And also we decided that we needed more internal practitioners. I was the only one at the time, and we managed to train 7 more people. So now we have 8 internal certified practitioners here at Hydro. And psychological safety for us is the base, it is the foundation for every health and safety strategy. So it's in our strategy as well. And when we look to our 3-year plan, we can see psychological safety very clear there. And so globally, the group has been working with psychological safety together with the HSE team. But here at BNA, we decided that this is not only health and safety. Obviously, we all know that. So it was better for us to consider it as part of the culture projects. So we moved this from HSC to culture because we understand that many other areas can be benefited from that. And also in the end of 2025, we started using TPS assessments. So we have done the leader assessment for the senior HR and HS senior vice president. And also we have done the TPS as the group, the team assessment for this group as well. So the entire HR and health and safety teams. And we have done, she liked that so much, my senior vice president, that she asked us to perform the assessment for the executive team. So the entire BNA executive team, they have the chance to answer the assessment and to have also a team building session. So Patricia was there and Marina as well. And we have the chance to discuss concepts it was really a workshop where they worked on this topic and where without saying what was psychological safety, but asking them, what is for you a high performance team? And how can we create that? So they have the answers, and Patricia was there leading them, and Marina also and helping them during this workshop. And for 2026, we will continue working on leadership as well, but we selected some teams, around 6 or 7 teams this year, to also perform the assessment and to keep working on what is more important for each of them. And also, we are discussing the scaling strategy as well, because we want to work with the assessment, but we want the organization to move forward. So we want psychological safety to really be considered something as in our basis. So I didn't mention before, it's here, but I didn't mention our main values are care, courage, and collaboration. So when we talk about psychological safety, we cover the 3 aspects of it, especially collaboration and care. And what we did in practice, so here you can see also we have now a web page dedicated to psychological safety in our intranet. So it's a group web page. And we have now this e-learning course available to all leaders and to all employees with fundamentals of psychological safety. And those are the topics we cover in this e-learning training. And we also had some lectures about psychological safety open to all employees at group level and also in BNA in Brazil. So what we did in practice, we had internal practitioners certified. We have now this global e-learning and open lectures. So here in Brazil, we have done this for all employees and also 3 dedicated sessions for leaders. So we have about 200 leaders that participated in this awareness session, and they love it that we had the executive and the HR and health and safety senior vice president assessments and team building and leadership sessions. So we had this team building about psychological safety with the entire HR team. And we had connected the HSC strategy, the psychological safety strategy, with this HOP. HOP stands for Human and Organizational Performance. So I will share with you what I'm talking about, we are connecting psychological safety to that. And we have this focus in our well-being calendar. So one topic per quarter, and psychological safety is one of them. This is the connection I mentioned before between the psychological safety and the HOP principle. So we do not want to create a lot of programs with a lot of different names, because this can create confusion for the employees, especially for the frontline workers. So we understand that when we combine human and organizational performance and psychological safety, we have a safer and learning and resilient organization, because in HOP, we are talking about error is normal, blame fixes nothing, context drives behavior, learning is vital, and response matters. So it's what we discuss in psychological safety as well. So we believe that what made the difference, we are still working on that. It's a non-ending journey. It's visible senior leadership sponsorship. So Nelia, our HR vice president, and also John and the rest of the team, the executive team, they are in sponsoring it, which is good. And we have internal practitioners, not only external support, although we understand external support is very important, but it's good to have people that understand and know the concepts as well. And this clear link to safety, performance, and care. And I think this link it's a strong link when we talk about performance, because we didn't say to the leaders that there is a strong link. They understood that and they said that before. And the key learnings, so this is Patricia picture, so I used that here, Patricia. This is the executive workshop done when Patricia was there. This is the HR and health and safety team doing the psychological safety workshop. And I'm here talking to the maintenance team at Alunorte. Alunorte is the biggest alumina refinery in the world. So we understand that psychological safety is not only a topic that matters for the leaders, the executive team, but also the frontline workers as well. So we are working on this awareness session, and that was great to see their engagement and their questions. So that was a great opportunity also. And leaders, we see them as role models, not only observers, but we want to understand from them what kind of support they need, because it's a new type of management, and it's a new way to see things. I understand, and for some leaders, they are like, well, I until yesterday. I thought I knew how to work with psychological safety, but now I see that I need to understand and to learn more about it. So it's good because we have an open door. And for me, HSC, health and safety and environment, especially safety, can be a strong entry point for psychological safety, especially in high-risk environments where it's very important for us to have this open communication and also this open dialogue, and also for us to learn with the frontline employees. So and well, I'm not. This is very well known for all of us, but psychological safety, we see it as an enabler for better decisions, for learning and adaptation, and care in high risk environments as well. So here you can see more awareness sessions we have done with leaders, and also the integration between psychological safety and health and safety at work. And well, it's very important for me to let you know that obviously this is a teamwork. So we have Adriana Lobo. Adriana Lobo is the HRBP in Alunorte. She is a certified practitioner as well, and she is leading this psychological safety project in BNA. And also we have the group well-being HSE and well-being manager. So the e-learnings and all those activities I shared that we are doing at group level. So Kieran is the person behind it, and also our senior vice president who supported this topic since the first time we discussed that, and Jürgen, the head of HSE. Obviously, there are more people working on this topic, but those are the people that are making this work. So I'm open to questions. I don't know if we have any, but my
Yes,
contact
we do.
is
We
here.
do.
So.
I first want to give you a little applause, Daniela, because there's so many things I like. I'm not going to start to say what I liked, but one thing I want to point out is you
Mhm.
every organization, there's different pathways possible, but how you started with HSE, that's how the topic came into the organization. And then you moved it into HOP, right? And that really
Yeah,
resonates with me because it's about performance, right? And I think if it
yeah,
stays just as a HHC or sometimes a human resource topic, I
yeah,
think we're missing the big picture. Big picture is it's about performance. So
yeah.
excellent
Completely agree.
sharing for that. Yeah. I'm gonna look, there's a question in the chat. Do you see the question in the chat,
Oh,
Paulina?
yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
so
I will
just to read it
answer.
out loud for those who have maybe on a cell phone. In addition to TPS awareness, e-learning and training, the understanding, so it's about understanding TPS, how do teams get to practice and reinforce it in an everyday way?
Mhm. Good. So we had also, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear. Go ahead.
Yeah, good, good, good. So one thing we have done was to create this connection to other topics inside of BNA, Bauxite and Alumina. So there is a culture project that considers GPS, and I have something very nice to share. It was not planned, but we have here this toolbox, this toolkit for leaders. There is an online version, but they gave us also this paper version as well. So here we have many. This was created by the culture team. Rafaela is the person. So we have many topics here: engagement, onboarding, attraction, support, and psychological safety is one of the topics that is being considered here. So the leader, imagine that the leader is in a meeting with his team. So he can use, well, I want to talk about psychological safety. So there is a toolbox in his hand. So it's a nice thing to be done. And another thing we have done, we performed a survey, a safety survey, focused on serious incident and fatality prevention. And the survey was open to all people that work inside of BNA. So employees, contractors, it was the first time we included contractors as well. And when we decided to perform this survey, it was a safe but covering cultural elements. The communication team said, well, if you get 600 answers, consider that a success. And we have 17,000 people working in our facilities every day. So 600, they told me, consider that a success. And I was like, oh my God, I'm hiring a company to perform this survey for more people. So 600 is not a good number for me. And for my surprise, we had almost 11,000 answers in this survey. And one of the aspects that appeared was that we need to close the gap, the communication gap between the frontline employees and the executive teams, in the leaders. Nothing new for us. We all know that we need to work on to close this communication gap, but psychological safety was one of the elements we must work on. So it's a serious incident and fatality prevention program, but psychological safety is strongly connected on that as well. So we have a long journey ahead, as I said, a non-ending journey, but it's good because I was in a meeting last week with some of the executive directors there, and they were talking differently. They were like, "We are in a safe space, so I want to hear what." So the way that they are communicate, I saw this change in the way they communicate, and I consider that we are just starting, although we have 2 years work that was done.
Cool. Danielle, thanks a lot. What I propose is there's two more questions in the chat. If that's okay
Okay,
with you, Danielle, try to answer maybe in typing, and we can come back at the end of the session to look at your answers, if that's okay.
good,
Because
good,
we have another case and I have a few more things to share, if that's okay with everybody. Okay. So
perfect.
Danielle
Thank
will
you.
be listening and also typing at the same time, and then we can have a quick look at what she shared later on. Okay. So again, thank you, Danielle. And excellent share. I took a lot of notes, a lot of things I like in what you shared. So let me move on. Let me move on. All right. So a few more things I want to share with you before we go to the second case study. If you are into YouTube, we're not there yet. As Danielle said, it's a long journey, but I try to put a little bit more interesting things on YouTube. So there's a channel called Team Intelligence. If you look for it, you will find it, YouTube channel. Feel free to give comments about what you want to see more there. There is a set of public videos, so it means anyone can see that. And I also put there what is called unlisted videos. These are only videos that you have access to, and I give you the link. So I'll talk about that in a minute. You will see that will make sense. I'm not going to give the floor to Richard yet, the second case study, because I also need to announce that finally, after some delay, we are now ready to launch. Actually, the website has been launched. So I created a new website called teamintelligencehub.com. If you go, maybe not now, later, to the website, you will have first a landing page that everybody can access to with some testimonials, information about the Team Psychological Safety program. And then the idea is that all of you, dear certified practitioners, have a profile in the system. So you would then log in. You can see on the picture in the left-hand side here, you would log in as a certified practitioner. And that is your menu that you would discover when you are logged in. And I'll just go, this is not a training session for the website. They'll just go through a few main elements. So the idea is that you will now become independent to order reports, right? In the past, you go through me or maybe through the master facilitator who then goes through me. It's a little bit complicated. So hopefully this will help us all be to more owning what you want to do with the different tools. So when you will go to your profile, there is only a few menus I want to mention here. You would buy credits, okay? A report is 150 US dollars, you know that. You would buy credits online with a protected, globally recognized online payment system using a credit card. You would buy credits. You can order one credit if you want one report. You can order more. And if you order 10, you will only pay 9, for example, to make it a little bit interesting. So once you have credits, you can then launch reports. So you have then a TPS for team menu item, you would click here to launch a new survey. I'm not going to show that now because I've created videos to explain you how that goes. You would then launch your survey, and this is an example of somebody who has launched a survey just a few days ago. It shows the name of the team, and you can then monitor here how many people have completed that survey, right? In this case, they just started, so nobody has completed yet. 5 people still need to complete the survey, etc., etc. And once the survey is then complete, you would close the survey and generate the report. So that hopefully should give you independence when it comes to dealing with reports. I'm going to go to one more slide. So you have your profile, you can put your picture in there. And then also you will be able to, your certificate will be there. So in case one day you lost your certificate, you'll be able to download it from the system. Okay. And the very final part before I move to Richard, I also created some videos. That was the unlisted videos I talked about. So I created videos on YouTube to explain how you reset your password, order a survey, launch a report, etc., etc. And there will be more coming on. So this is ready. At the end of the session today, I will tell you how you can now get into the system, because most of you are not yet in the system. But it's been a bit long. Good experience, but I'm happy we finally can make it useful for everybody around here. Okay, so that's an update from me. Before I'm going to stop sharing, but before I do that, we always do that in the middle of the session. Otherwise, some people disappear at the end. So this is the time when you have to look your best and switch on your camera if possible. And we're going to take a group picture. Okay. And right after that, I'm going to introduce Richard just now, but give me 30 more seconds for the picture, Richard. So Richard Hong from Singapore, Executive Vice President TÜV Süd. What is it? The whole world, almost the whole world, Southeast Asia, Middle East, Africa, and maybe I forgot some parts, but he can explain that in a minute. And so he will share what he has been doing on this topic.
Okay, thank you, Peter, for inviting me for this sharing session. This is the first time attending this session, so a lot to learn from the rest of you. So a quick introduction of myself. I'm the Executive Vice President of TEAM.AS.ONE. TEAM.AS.ONE is a company that is based headquarters out of Munich, Germany. It have a long history. This year, we are very happy that we are celebrating 160 years of the company. And as you can see, the company is huge. We have existence in more than 50 countries with over 30,000 employees and a turnover of 3.5 billion euro. TEAM.AS.ONE is primarily focused in providing testing, inspection, certification, training of process, of systems, of products, of infrastructure globally. And I've been based out of Singapore. And let me go to my next slide to give a quick introduction of myself. I've been with the company since 1995 when I joined them as a young engineer. And this is my first job and my only job. In fact, this is the only company I joined since I graduated from university, and I not stopped looking back. As you can see there, from engineer, I raised all the way as a CEO of the TEAM.AS.ONE ASEAN. ASEAN is the Southeast Asia region. So I've been holding that role for close to 12 years, which I made a very critical, important decision beginning of last year to step down from the role, primarily to spend more time with my family, especially my wife, and also give opportunity for my successor, for younger leaders to take on the role. But I must say that I enjoyed the transition. Since I stepped out from that role, I've successfully transited into a new role, which is Executive Vice President for ASEAN, which includes Southeast Asia, Middle East, as well as Africa. And I've been taking on that role since the middle of last year. Okay, and I've been busy since last year getting myself trained and certified, as you can see down there, ICF ACC. And most importantly, I was trained and certified by Dr. Philip, who is the master trainer of Belvin Singapore, Belvin Asia. In fact, he's in the call today, Philip. I attended his training and certification course, I remember it was last year, May, a combined 3 days course of both Belvin and Team Psychology Safety. So thanks to Dr. Philip for training me and certifying me as a certified TPS practitioner. So here, a quick introduction. And so currently, I'm doing a lot more on in-house coach as well as trainer for individual, for executive, as well as leadership coaching, but also for team workshop as team coaching. And the coachee, the mentees, and the leadership teams that has been training comes for countries like Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, India, as well as coachee and mentees in countries like Korea, China, starting to get more requests from Middle East as well as in Europe, primarily in Germany. And the other role that which I'm quite passionate about, which I've done a lot, is conduct wellness workshop in ASEAN. And the two particular wellness topics are very much interested and passionate about, which is mental wellness and financial wellness. And my belief and my values in life is that as long as we do well in the three pillars of wellness, which is your physical wellness, meaning that we need to exercise regularly, our mental wellness, as well as financial wellness, we have a strong chance of being leading a very successful and purposeful and meaningful life in both our personal as well as professional life. So on this TEAM Psychology Safety workshop, I have facilitated since I think was Q4 of last year. I have started doing both the well-being as well as the TEAM Psychology Safety. And to date, I have done and facilitated 3 TEAM Psychology Safety workshops for 3 different leadership teams in Singapore, in Vietnam, as well in Middle East. In Middle East, the workshop happened in Dubai. At the end of my presentation, hopefully I have enough time to show you a very interesting video which nicely captured the entire workshop in a 2 minutes video. And for this 3 particular workshop, I actually combine both the well-being as well as the TEAM Psychology Safety into 1 day. It's a very condensed workshop. And the leadership teams from these 3 particular workshops range from 10 members to 20 members. In fact, in Singapore, the leadership teams, that is outside TUSUK and other companies TUSUK, they have about 20 senior leaders there. I done that in November last year. In Vietnam, it's a very young team, about 10 members of them. But in Middle East, it's a very senior leaders. Most of them have more than a decade of leadership experience, and that's another 20 members in Middle East. If you have any question, please drops in the chat box. Okay, as I explained previously, I combine both the well-being and TEAM Psychology Safety into 1 workshop. And how does well-being complement and support the TPS? I think in one of the 7 elements of TPS, embracing diversity is important. And for those who are new to well-being, well-being is actually behavior, self-awareness of behavior in the team role for individual as well as the team members with the objective to build high-performance teams. As you can see there are 9 different well-being team roles, and how the well-being team roles and TEAM Psychology Safety works, they actually work hand in hand because they indicate the difference of how TPS is handled, and it's actually quite a helpful tool to drive one of the elements with the TPS diversity. As you can see in the well-being workshop, it helped the participants to actually understand that the people or the team members is actually contribute to teams in a very different but equally valuable way. You can be someone that is very much focused being a coordinator, or you can be someone who, as a team role, being much a resource investigator, as you can see on the right-hand side. But by making this difference very visible and practical, it actually turns diversity from challenge to a strength. And usually when people participate in this combined workshop, they realize their difference is actually not personality clashes, which they have imagined in the past, but it's actually a role difference. And this sort of widen their perspective and reframe them to think that diversity is actually complementary and is actually a strength, not a weakness for team members to work together. Okay, I summarize in this slide some of the learning insights as I facilitate these 3 workshops. So as you can see, I've done these 3 workshops in 3 different countries, Singapore, Middle East, as well as Vietnam. And for 3 different leadership teams, as small as 10 key members to as big as 20 members. And it's also across different cultures. And some of the team members, their seniorities is quite different in terms of experience. Some are at the CEO or C-suite level. The CEO and the CFO of the Middle East team join together with all the business unit head. But in Vietnam, it's a very young team, so the business head and some of the younger team members join. So when I facilitate the workshop, my learning style is actually TPS is a common tool applicable for any leadership teams across different countries' culture. But when I get into in-depth facilitation and discussion with the participants, I realized and observed that senior leaders with more than 10 years of leadership experience usually engage in more broader and deeper reflective discussion during the TPS workshop comparing to the younger team in Vietnam. I give you an example. One of the elements of TPS was reaction to mistakes. And this was also being asked in the TPS survey assessments. And when I get into these particular elements of reaction mistakes, there was a lot of discussion on this element alone. I think we spent more than 45 minutes alone on these elements. And some of the leaders began to ask and question, what what exactly meant by reaction to mistakes? Do we mean that there's no finger pointing when someone make mistakes, we don't blame each other? But how do we balance that with, ensuring that team members also take full accountability in their role and not always making mistakes and hoping that the teams or the leaders will accept the mistakes? There must be a balance of full accountability in their own roles and responsibility. And I guess this is a very interesting, insightful discussion only on this reaction to mistake elements. And on the survey assessments, yes, I have all the team members. I think no one miss out participating in the assessment, which is very important because the objective of the facilitator, like me and the leaders, is to get a full report. So in Middle East, we have all the 20 members participating in the assessment. In Singapore as well, the 20 leaders. In Vietnam, all the 10 leaders participate in the report. So we have a full report. And when I printed the report and share the report with the participants during the workshop, and actually going through page by page with them, they actually, one of the strongest feedback, they very much point out they like this very independent, objective way of measuring their team psychological safety in the company or in their individual teams, because always this particular topic, people feel that is kind of feel good kind of elements, but there's no independent objective measurement. Now they have a measurement in terms of their inputs to the assessment, and they have it on the report and see which of the elements are strong and which elements are weak. And I think the feedback is very positive on both the report as well as the assessment. Observation during the workshop, of course, as a facilitator for such a very important topic, and sometimes people see this as also quite sensitive, we need to encourage a very open and honest discussion in a very safe, and secure and confidential setting, because there's no point for everyone to get into a workshop and try to be nice to each other and say things that hope that everybody like to listen, but not the honest and true sharing. So this discussion, especially on the 7 elements, we have to encourage very open and honest. And as a facilitator, I keep reminding everyone that all the discussion that happen in the workshop will be strictly kept within the workshop participants and will not be shared with anyone outside the particular workshop. And during the discussion on what kind of positive or negative team behavior they can see in order to contribute to positively to the 7 elements and to improve the score, I can see very active participation, not just from the team members, but I think leaders are very important to lead by examples. The leaders in the 3 workshop, they lead by examples. They themselves ask me to conduct this workshop, and they participate in the survey link, and they openly, discuss the difficult topic in a very open and manner with all the team members. And this is important for leaders to lead by example. And also, the strongest feedback in workshop is how this TPS actually enhance or improve their team engagement and performance. And very importantly, there is a lot of discussion on how to further improve the 7 elements. And the follow-up actions is very important to get not just the rational buy-in, but the emotional buy-in from all the participants is very important. And as a facilitator, I help them to set up, to discuss the follow-up actions, because the learning for the teams does not stop at one particular TPS workshop. It will continue after the workshop. And most important, the post-workshop of how do they intend to follow all the agreed actions by both the leaders and team members is, to me, the most important. And they must get, every one of them, including the leaders and the participants, must get the buy-in of the agreed action and priority, and not just complete the workshop and forget about all the discussed items. Outcome the workshop, the team leaders, I feedback to me, they actually discuss whatever follow action during the workshop during their regular management meeting. Most of these things have regular management meetings. Some do it once a month, some do it once a quarter. But the feedback they given to me that they actually are quite serious about the agreed follow action from that particular TPS workshop, and they discuss and review whether the action items has been closely implemented. And I also can see some of them setting some boundaries and team engagement rules on how to improve TPS. I share just one examples on the reaction mistakes. The leaders actually set rules of what kind of mistakes is acceptable, what kind of mistake will lead to serious consequences, and there should be a balance in terms of accountability. And mistakes can be accepted and learned, but repeat making of the same mistake is actually not acceptable to the teams and the leader. And these are some of the discussion in terms of setting out the engagement rules. And the other elements is risk taking. They also went into very in-depth discussion on what kind of risk is acceptable for the teams to take, and what kind of risk need further discussion and escalation. Risks that have high frequency and potential very serious consequences to the business, to the company, need to be escalated and discussed as well. So this is what I mean by setting boundaries as well as engagement rules. And subsequently, after the workshop, I have opportunity to interact with the leaders and the members of the workshop. I can tell from their body language and behavior, they are now more conscious in terms of the individual and team behavior with respect to the 7 elements of TPS. Okay, these are some of the feedback. I give you a little bit of time to read through. Well, the first one was the particular workshop that I conduct in Middle East, Dubai. And so the leaders, the COO, the CEO, and the CFO comes from countries based in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. But the team members comes from countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, and so on. And because of the matrix structure in Middle East, they have almost close to 20 senior leaders. And it's not just the business leader, the HR department head, the quality management head, the IT head, the marketing head, also all the corporate support function head also participate in this particular workshop. And you can see that they really like this workshop because this is, I think, probably the first workshop for the last few years they had come together and talk about things psychological safeties and also include the well-being team role aspects. Later, I will show you a quick video. The second feedback was from a young team. I think this team was formed, let's say, 2-3 years ago only, and the leaders only joined the company 2 years ago. They have about 10 members there, so it's still a very young team involving. But the senior vice president of this particular business division based out of Singapore want me to conduct this particular workshop in Vietnam, and we got equally good feedback from them as well. So these are the feedback for the workshop, very positive feedback, I will say, from the participants. And for the future TPS workshop, learning from that, I have decided that I will conduct a full day TPS workshop instead of a half day. And this is to allow more time and space to discuss the 7 elements. So my usual approach to, these days doing in-house workshop is to first conduct a 1 full day well-being team role workshop. And as a follow-up to that particular workshop, I will next conduct another 1 full day TPS workshop for the same participants. And I think we need to restrict to leaders and key members of the team in order to make sure the teams are not too big. I think a due size is between 8 to 15 members. So with this, Peter, if you have time, you give me opportunity to show the video.
It's 2 minutes, right? So yes, go ahead. We go ahead. And
it's just 2 minutes, yeah.
Please boot it up. And same, because I have a few things I want to share at the end. If you have questions, we're going to have to put them in the chat box, and I'm going to find a way for Richard to answer them and then find a way to get the answers to all of you.
Okay, I tried out the video this morning. It works. I hope it works now. You know, usually technology don't work at a critical moment, but let's see.
That's true. That's true. We all know the experience.
Yeah. Okay, let me know if
we can see it.
The full video?
Yes, make sure you start it and we see if we hear the noise, the sound, sorry.
Okay, it's a soft music in the background, so there's no conversation. So just 2 minutes. Okay, I play it now. This is in Middle East, by the way. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you. It's good to have all different kinds of ways to look at the topic. Thank you, Richard. I think you're still sharing your screen, right?
Yes, I need to stop sharing now.
Yes. I'll try to. Okay. So thank you for that, Richard. And again, thanks for taking the time to put all this together and to explain. I'm gonna move on to share a few more things. And one question and it just came to my mind now, which is a brand new question. I was not planning for that, but should we have this session 60 minutes or 90 minutes? And I would like you to put in the chat box if you think 60 is okay, it's enough, or we should go for 90. Can you just put in the chat box? I'm not gonna look at the results now. I'm gonna look at the results later on. So thank you for that. So we have already taken the picture, by the way.
Peter, yeah, I just
Yes,
want to
sir.
mention one part.
Sorry.
I forgot to mention. Actually, we started this TPS journey when Dr. Philip conducted the TPS workshop for the entire senior leadership teams of in ASEAN. That was in September last year. I remember because, as you know, I have a new CEO, the new successor who took over me. He wanted to do a team psychology safety workshop for the entire team. I participate in that workshop as a participant with Philip as the trainer. So from there, this is the first time I experienced firsthand. I think Philip done a wonderful job, and that's why I get myself trained as a certified practitioner to hopefully continue to benefit the rest of the team in Tusu.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Richard. And I want to say two things. Both Pauline and Richard. Pauline put it something like, what was it? Awareness is not enough. Assessment matters. And Richard also put the same importance to the report. And I think that's one of the strengths of our program, because everybody talks about team psychological safety, but we can actually measure something, and then it becomes much more actionable for people and organizations. The second thing I observe in both cases is that it's really individuals, Danielle, sorry, I said Pauline, Danielle, sorry, and Richard to drive it. And that is often what we see. It needs somebody to drive it, and we have other examples that we've seen last time. So it depends a lot if you have kind of an advocate or a sponsor or somebody who believes in it and who could drive it across all the challenges you will probably come
Can I
across.
add something, Peter?
Yes, Phil?
Richard has been such a fantastic facilitator. It helps that he's the former CEO of the company, because Richard is trusted by so many people in TÜV SÜD and drives it, and we work closely together. But Richard has driven it and has the credibility and authority to do that.
Correct.
I wish everybody a great person like Richard to get this going.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Phil. And I also want to not just say a lot of thanks to Danielle and Richard, but as that's the deal, they get a free TPS report, right? So that's what I give back in exchange for those two, and then whoever wants to do that in the future to share their experience here. And the vote in the chat box is quite unanimous. It's 60 minutes, so thank you for that. Now, one more thing to share about the new website, because I have shown you some nice pictures, but so what? Because you cannot log in, right? So here's the situation. How do you get access? First, two cases. If you are a new certified practitioner, it means you have not yet received your certificate. From now on, you will get the certificate through the system, through that platform, by the master facilitator. And you will then also get the information to log into your profile with everything I showed, where you can put your profile picture and when you can buy credits and launch surveys. So that's the case for new practitioners. And I know some people in the room today are actually in the process of getting certified. So the day you get your certificate, you have access to the system. Those 1,136 who have already been certified, I will not create a profile for each of those, because I'm going to give priority to those who want it first. So I'm going to say to all of you, and please, master facilitators, give the message to your people, your teams, send an email to me. That's how we're going to have to do it for now. And I will create a profile, and you will get an email from the system, from the platform, to log in. And then the rest is everything as I just explained before. Okay. Feel free in the chat box to ask questions, to make comments, so that we can make this session, this 60-minute session, useful for all. The dates are here. So next date is 25 May. And I look forward to having other case studies shared in addition to what we've heard so far. So hopefully to cover lots of countries, lots of different kind of experiences, big companies, small companies. And with that, when people tell me 60 minutes, then I look at my clock and I say it's 59 now. So it's time to wrap up, right? That's kind of how I am. So thank you all for being a participant of this. We have recorded this, so I'll put it on YouTube as a what is it? Not public meeting, so it's only for the certified facilitators. But thank you all. Have a good evening, morning, rest of the day. Thanks again, Danielle and Richard, and I wish you all the best. And we keep in touch, and there's many more interesting things to come. So good evening, all.